Hello. Today, we will be going over the next steps as you prepare to study abroad. In this quick session, we will go over the following topics briefly, not getting into too much depth, but just covering enough information for you to be aware of for what's ahead. First, starting with our application review. So applications are due March 2nd at 11:59 p.m. That means you have the full day of the 2nd to work on the application and get any last minute things done. When we're reviewing applications, we're looking for full and complete applications with no items missing or unfinished. As a reminder, students can complete one program application per term. We also want to make sure that students have requested a recommendation from a faculty or supervisor. We want to make sure that the student's cumulative GPA matches the program minimum. Also, make sure that you're up to date with your vaccination status with VaxLMU. And all students will be reviewed by Student Accounts and the Office of Student Conduct and Community Responsibility to make sure they're in good standing. And we also ensure that no students are on academic probation. As a reminder, many of our programs have two applications. There's the LMU Study Abroad application, and then there may be an application for your host institution as well. If you're not sure about this, or if you're not sure which ones to complete, please talk to your program advisor or program manager, and they'll be able to let you know. When we review applications, all semester applications are reviewed after the deadline of submission. So if you submit early, it's one less thing you have to worry about, but it won't give you an advantage in having your application reviewed early. We aim to send out all acceptance notices by March 15th. If there's a reason your application won't be able to have an acceptance decision by the 15th, we will try to communicate that to you. Usually that's because of incomplete or missing application materials, like if you're missing a recommendation request. It also could be that you haven't completed the application for the host institution if that's necessary. As you prepare to study abroad, passports are going to be required for all programs. So if you haven't already, we recommend checking your passport and making sure that it is up to date and valid for at least 6 months after your program end date. This is a common entry requirement and also a common requirement for many visas. So if your passport is going to expire while you're abroad or within 6 months of your return, you want to get it renewed as soon as possible. Most students will need a visa as well as part of their entry requirements. A visa is a special endorsement in a passport that allows you to stay for a specific reason and for a greater length of time than if you were a tourist. So most students studying abroad will need a visa in order to participate in their program. It is the student's responsibility to complete this visa process, and visa application processes vary widely based on program, length of stay, nationality, where students are studying. So please make sure that you follow all instructions given to you by your host institution and by your advisors. It really is imperative that you stay on top of the visa process. We cannot do the visa process for you. It is only the responsibility of the student. And if you don't complete it, it is likely that you won't be able to study abroad if you don't secure the visa. So please make sure you stay on top of all those items for your visa. For program tuition and fees. So most of our programs, students will pay LMU tuition plus a program fee. This combined cost covers everything that's included in the program. And if you'd like more information about that, you can review the tuition and fees section on the program brochure page for your specific program. There's also a budget worksheet in your application, which can help you estimate expenses and is a good conversation starter if you have family or loved ones supporting you on your journey abroad. Also, for all programs where students pay LMU tuition, students will also retain their LMU financial aid, and that can be applied towards the cost of the program as well. The only items which do not carry over for study abroad is if you are an RA or if you have work study. If you submit an application, all submitted applications for students will be charged a $100 application fee. This is non-refundable, and this will be charged within a few weeks after the deadline. Then, if you are accepted to your program, and you would like to commit and participate, you must pay a $500 commitment deposit to secure your spot in the program. And this commitment deposit is due by March 20th. So things come fairly quickly. If the acceptance decision comes on March 15th, the commitment deposit is due on March 20th. So you just want to keep that in mind, that will be coming down the line eventually. If you'd like more information about scholarships or other opportunities, we recommend contacting the Office of National and International Fellowships, or ONIF. Now, we do have a financial withdrawal policy that we want all students to be aware of. Hopefully this won't apply to you, but it does happen every year that we do have students who end up withdrawing after they have committed to a program. So we just want to make sure you're aware of what the implications are. So again, there's a $500 commitment deposit that you would pay if accepted to secure your spot in the program if you would like to go. After you pay this deposit, it is non-refundable for any reason. If you must withdraw from the program, there is also a withdrawal form that students will need to complete, and you can get this form by asking your study abroad program advisor or manager. And really, we'd like you to just, if you're having concerns about participation, talk to your advisor as soon as possible. Depending on what the situation is, there may be other resources or ways we could support you in that decision-making process. It's not something that you want to do alone, so please make sure that you're having a conversation with our office if you're concerned about being able to commit and participate. Depending on when, if you do have to withdraw, depending on when that might be, there may be additional fees that a student might owe. So planning for programs abroad begins well in advance. There's reservations made for housing and excursions and different activities. And this is made with a certain number of students in mind based off of the number that we have commit. So once we have a group of committed students, we'll communicate that to our partners and they begin planning. And then after that point, if a student withdraws, there may be fees that have already been paid as part of their anticipated participation, which may not be able to be recovered. So suffice it to say, the closer it gets to the actual program start date, the greater likelihood that you will owe a larger amount of non-recoverable fees. So again, we recommend having conversations with us earlier rather than later if you are concerned about participating in the program. All of our study abroad programs are for academic credit. Students will earn either LMU credit or LMU transfer credit, depending on the program they are participating in. All the courses for programs are listed in the academic section of the program brochure page online, and all students will be enrolled in a full-time course load while they are abroad. If you have questions about your academics or what courses to take, we definitely recommend meeting with your LMU academic advisor. They will be the best resource for you to understand what courses you have left to complete in your degree, whether for your major or minor. DegreeWorks is also a really useful resource for students. So if you are not already familiar with your DegreeWorks, we recommend taking a look at it and maybe asking an advisor for assistance in understanding how it works, because it can be a really helpful tool for you to understand what you've already finished and what you have left to complete. In our office, we are not academic advisors, so we can't advise too closely on what you need to complete for your degree, but we can try to troubleshoot questions as best as possible. So like I said before, students will either earn LMU credit or transfer credit, depending on which program they are participating in. We have a handful of semester programs where students earn LMU credit, just like they would if they're on campus taking classes. So all these programs have names that start with LMU in. So for example, our LMU in London program, LMU in Germany, or LMU in Croatia. These are some examples. For these programs, students will register for classes in Prowel like they would for a normal semester. They will receive a letter grade for all of the classes they complete abroad. So your grades abroad will impact your GPA. And for these programs, students cannot do pass-fail grading while they're abroad, and they can't do credit, no credit grading while they're abroad. For the rest of our programs, which is the majority of our study abroad programs, students will earn transfer credit from the host institution that they are studying at. So in order for students to receive transfer credit, they must complete a transfer course review form with the Office of the Registrar. This form is now available for fall 2023, and we recommend that students complete the form as soon as possible, as the reviewing process for the form can take a while, up to 20 business days or 4 weeks. So we recommend meeting with your academic advisor to understand what courses you have left to fulfill, reviewing the course list for your intended program, and completing the transfer course review form with courses that look like they might match the courses you would need to complete. For these programs, students will register for their classes with a host institution. They will not register at LMU. And at the end of their semester, students will receive transfer credit for the courses completed while they were abroad. Students must submit a transcript from their semester abroad to the LMU Office of the Registrar in order to start the transfer process officially. And please note that students can not receive credit for courses that they do not pass with a grade of C or above. You have to receive a C in order to have considered passing the class. Also, pass-fail grading is not allowed, and credit not credit grading is also not allowed for these programs. So what comes next after you've submitted your application? So if you are accepted, you will continue to use this study abroad portal, as there will be new materials that will appear that help you get ready as you really begin the departure process. Once again, follow all the directions and instructions you might receive about the visa application, whether from LMU Study Abroad or from your host institution. There will also be a pre-departure meeting later in this semester. This is a required part of the experience and is a great opportunity to meet other students attending your program, and you'll receive more program details from your study abroad advisor or manager. You will also purchase flights for your program, but that will come a little bit later, and you'll receive instructions about purchasing flights, whether there's a specific airport you should arrive to or a specific day or time that you should arrive. So hold off on purchasing flights until you receive that information, but know that that will be coming down the line. And as always, make sure you're keeping up to date with any due dates, checklists, items that need to be done. All these kind of come fast and furious during the pre-departure phase, and it also coincides with a busy time of the ending of the semester. So just make sure you're staying organized and you're keeping up to date with everything that needs to be done. Finally, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to our office. There is the Ways to Connect page on our website, which shows all of our availability and different meeting opportunities. We have individual appointments you can schedule with program advisors or peer advisors. You can drop by our office. You can send us an email. So please let us know if you have any questions or concerns, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.